So, hello. These are Papses in the Spinroom, and it's 24th November 2025. That's been a hell of a week, but Paps, how was the week for Paps? How are you doing?
I mean, I'm good. In general, I'm good.
Yeah.
It's been, I don't know. I was thinking about whether this week was eventful or not, but I think the biggest event, the highlight of my week was just flirting with the receptionist across the road to get some printing done.
And that's the events we're waiting for. Actually, forget about politics. Just let's talk about that.
Well, let's put it like it took me 15 minutes to send the receptionist the printing. Whether it was, oh no, I didn't send you the attachment. Oh no, I wrote the wrong email address. Oh, can you write down your number just in case?
Just in case if there is some, if the internet is down. Because that happened in Spain a few months ago.
What was it? Spotify was down a few days ago. You never know.
We don't want that coincidence to, take the love of your life
It was
from
the
you.
longest printing session I've ever done.
Was it successful? Did you print everything you wanted?
Everything got printed. Don't get me wrong.
Okay, that's good.
How about your week? Was it a bit more eventful than mine?
My week was pretty good. My week was hell of a busy week. I don't know if it's about the Christmas, because I was always considering myself, because I don't have 9 to 5 kind of a standard job or anything like that. So I was thinking, I'm not affected by this. But as closer we're going to Christmas, I think I'm running faster and faster, and I'm becoming more of a busy bee. And it was good, but the highlight of it was it's a highlight, but it's also sad news. One of my best friends, he's moving out to something which people know as Barcelona of UK, which is
Wow.
which is Margate.
Yeah. The Ramblas? Did you go to them? No,
Yeah.
the Ramblas, mate.
Yeah.
That's how they call it.
The Ramblas, mate. They even have their own big band, so it's a mix of this exotic little coastal town, but also,
Is it just the guy's watch, the big band?
No, but do you know that in Margate they have like a micro big band, which is on the beach? Have you ever been to Margate?
No, never been.
So just go to see that, and there is one awful block of flats, which I'm always calling the Eiffel Tower of Margate, which is pioneering over everything else. But it's no. To be fairly honest, I understand his decision, but it is the case of when you live long enough in London, a lot of your mates are living in the city. And your heart is kind of breaking, but you also understand it, because if you love something, you gotta let it go.
You need to let it go. And it's true. I mean, London spits you out when it's done with you. And
it's also
whether how long you hold on to it.
And it's also like, people coming here for a mission. People are coming because they're looking for love, or maybe they're looking for a little, the career boost or something like that. And then suddenly, it's over.
If those are the things that people look for in London, love and jobs, I'm going to be here for a long time.
Well, but hey, as much as our weeks were busy, I gotta say that there's some people in the world we're gonna be talking about today, which weeks were even busier and were rowdier and more stressful. So really, we're just taking for granted the peace we have.
We are really.
But going to the content of the most important half an hour of your week, which is the overview of Papses and what we're doing. We're going to be letting you know about topics for today. And I just want to say that James the Papi, he's responsible for writing the funniest headlines on the internet.
Yeah.
And
taking big inspirations from the Daily Express and Daily Mail.
Yeah, he's been raised on these headlines for a good few years. He knows how to write it. He knows how to cause trouble. We even changed one headline earlier on before, because we were like, yeah. This is
too on the nose.
Yeah,
too much.
Exactly. So, yes. So starting with, we have back to USSR peace plan, and a Kiev Post said. Oh, no, that's it. Sorry.
Yeah, well,
I should read
spoilers. Spoilers.
Almost. So we're gonna be talking about the peace plan, which is about to happen or is not about to happen. In general, what Trump proposed as his 28-pointer. Then we gonna be talking about a little bit of a scandal. Only left-wing, really, newspapers were talking about it. That one of the guys very much involved in reform is going to jail. Yeah. And it's not even a theory, or he is going to jail.
But we like to call it slosh to the gills.
Yes.
Gill.
Yes. So this is one of the funny little... And then we have Trump bring all the boys to the yard. So again...
They're like, it's better than yours.
That's exactly what was happening there. And then we have sick of the Tories. So we are looking into the most boring formation on the political scene in UK.
It's the COVID report.
It's a COVID report. We're going to be talking about how it has been handled. And I think we all know how it has been handled before we even start talking about it. But hey, still worth mentioning. So, Paps, since I was a chatterbox for the last 10 minutes, maybe you want to kick off with the first headline.
We'll kick it off with a Kiev Post that has a headline, one of the hardest moments in our history. Zelensky warns of dire choices in peace proposal.
And the Times said, Putin's win-win. Take a Russia-friendly peace deal or fight on.
So this is obviously the peace plan that was leaked later last week. It is a 24 point plan which terrified a lot of Europe. Like, the Ukrainians are pretty much fucked if this is the plan. However, it does appear that this may have been written in Russian originally. So maybe this is what Putin wanted. It could have been what Trump proposed. Either way, it's a very Putin-friendly deal.
Yeah. Well, we have to know that it sounds like Putin written it down and just sent over to Trump. And Trump said, you know what? Whatever, let's just try. Worst case scenario, they're not going to agree. But if they're going to agree, I'm going to have Putin nice and sweet, and I'm going to have a peace, and maybe the Nobel Prize the next year. And basically, it's all about me looking good in it, because it's pretty much impossible that he negotiated anything down. We have to remember about a few things which are happening. First of all, the deal again has been done without the mitigation of Putin and Zelensky. Trump said after their last meeting that they're not going to be meeting with Putin separately without Zelensky. They did it again. This is primo. Secundo, some of the conditions that are terrible, and Zelensky gave a speech after that saying that they are facing the toughest choice since the war started, the toughest day, because they're either going to lose dignity or they're going to use one of the most important, if not the most important ally. And that's true that he has been put in this situation. For me, so we have few crucial points. So points like Ukraine cannot join NATO, Ukraine cannot join the European Union, they cannot have more than 600,000 troops, that they have to keep all their air missiles in Poland. By the way, Polish Prime Minister was like, what the hell, boys? No one discussed it with us in the first place. So it's like, but it's also, they want to take the Donetsk and Donbass completely, even the territories which were not occupied and possessed by Russians yet. So it is quite ridiculous, and it sounds very wishy-washy. For me, the biggest crime of this deal, though, is, and that's very cynic of me to say, because obviously the biggest tragedy is of the Ukrainian people being, enslaved. But for me, coldly politically speaking, the worst is that if that deal would go forward, then Russia is on the next day. Russia is on the international scene, nice and clean. No consequences. They are becoming an equal partner in all the trades and everything what is happening around. And for me, that's the biggest mistake on that deal, because I even had a conversation with some very smart person on the farewell party of my friend. And she might be the guest on our show one day. You never know. Maybe. You know if you know. And we both agree that this is absolutely the most horrible thing. What do you think?
So, I mean, given how pro-Putin these points were, it makes me think that this is what Putin put on the table. Like, it's so unbelievable that it has to be, this is what I want in the negotiating table. Because, so like, for example, point 1 is to me the funniest, even though it's like sad, because it says, Ukraine will be recognized sovereignty. I'm like, oh, cool, at least we've got that going. Yeah. Like, cool, Ukraine can be a country.
And it's only because it's Christmas and they're giving presents away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you can have that. But you need to have elections within 100 days. Which, of course, given we were discussing last week what's been happening to Zelensky, it's tactical. So Zelensky's going to get out. There will be a full exchange of prisoners, a full amnesty, which includes women and children. However, none of these prisoners will need to face legal consequences. The issue with that, of course, is, as I mentioned, there is an exchange of children, prisoners of war, which constitutes a war crime.
Yeah.
But according to this point, no one can be tried for war crimes, including President Putin.
Insane.
The most insane thing that you sort of touched on, that like Putin can go back on the world stage untouched, all is cool, is that within the peace plan it says Russia can come back to the G8.
Oh yeah, because this is another thing. So that's what I was saying. Yeah, so the Russia going to be treated as an equal partner in the conversation, which is ridiculous. They should be banned. They should be sent on the island where Napoleon was, waiting for his last days. Goddamn.
Yeah.
I mean, like there is, there is also there is a little bit of light at the end of this tunnel, because I was thinking at the beginning, I was like, oh my god, Zelensky has to refuse that deal, but then there's going to be this argument that he doesn't want a peace. But what I'm saying right now is Zelensky is playing tactical games. So what he's doing is he's trying to get European countries being involved in it, because it's not only the threat for Ukraine, which is obvious and the most horrific, but it's also the threat for the whole Europe. And I think European leaders finally starting realizing that the war of the Ukraine is defending the whole Europe, not only Kiev. So he's trying to get them involved. And it's also, from what I know, they already reduced the deal to 19 points. So they already removed the thing about the troops, about the internal decisions, but also about joining NATO and EU. Because this is the long haul game. They want to be part of EU and NATO, because that would rip apart from Russia potentially the biggest and the strongest territory they can potentially conquer, if you're looking from their point of view. So let's see. But also, I want to ask a question here before we're going to move to the next topic, which is coming inevitably. I want to ask, do you think that this deal will help people forget about the scandal in Ukraine, the corruption scandal?
Oh, good question.
And I'm talking about the Ukrainians here.
So... It's great. Yeah, no, I need to think about it a second. I mean, my instinct is, if there's one thing that can unify voters, a population, a community, is one common enemy. At the moment, whatever was put on the table by whether it was Putin, whether it was Trump, that can be considered terrible for Ukrainians. And that, therefore, is a common enemy. So if Zelensky can negotiate, use his political powers, his
charisma and experience,
the cheeky smile he's got,
the cheeky smile, a little smirk,
and manages to work away from this plan, then he might be forgiven. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if you're going to be forgiven, because I think whatever is after war, it's very much different from what it is right now. But I'm just thinking, if people are going to be like, you know what, it's better to not take him to the court right now, because we need one leader. We cannot afford having a mess, because then we're going to be giving country away very quickly. Because whoever would step on Zelensky's position, into Zelensky's position right now, he will have to be different. And it's hard to be different in international politics, because we have to remember that Zelensky is liked internationally for what he's doing internationally. He's just not liked for what he's doing internally. And then whoever would step in and would be clear from corruption, but would give Ukraine away, they're going to hate him even more, because they're going to be like, we would rather you having a golden toilet than giving our country away.
True. I mean, on the other hand, what I would say, if I were Zelensky, I mean, I follow a rule, which is a little secret, but it's only between us two, yeah?
Because no one is watching.
No. Quit when you're ahead. If Zelensky manages to end the war, peace guaranteed, Europe's got our backs. Trump even said you'll have a little bit of our backs. And you need to have general elections, because he is due one. Don't even stand. Quit when you're saying, I managed to keep Russia at bay, even managed to create a peace between Ukraine and Russia. Don't even stand. If you leave to live in eternal glory. Yeah, but away from Ukraine.
but there is a trick to it, because you know what is the bigger addiction than crack?
Power.
Power, baby. And then we know that Volodymyr Zelensky is also a little bit addicted to it, and that's it. And I think we definitely gonna update you next week, because he has time till Thursday. So the next Papses, you're already going to be discussing how did they manage this deal. That's definitely going to be the headline of next Papses as well.
No, 100%.
So keep on watching, observing, and appreciate Papses' work. And maybe you'll find out.
But if we're doing so well, then we're going to retire. We're going to quit when we're ahead.
I like that. I like that. Okay, so the next is sloshed off to the Nathans. Al Jazeera said ex-leader of Reform UK in Wales jailed for 10 years over pro-Russian bribes.
And the Daily Express says Nigel Farage is no friend of Vladimir Putin, insists Reform UK chair.
Sure.
Sure, at least the Daily Express has said it's fine. Therefore, it must be.
I mean, like, if they say it, it's got to be the truth.
It's gotta be. So Nathan Gill, who is this guy?
Yeah,
and why does it matter?
Yeah, who is this dude? So let me ask you a question. Is he number 2 in Reform?
Oh, not anymore. I mean,
was
2 weeks ago he was,
Was he number 2 in Reform?
best friend with Nigel Farage. He was.
So they had pints.
They had pints. They definitely had pints.
Okay, that's a measure in Farage category.
I mean, his most recent title, like official title he had, was head of Reform UK Wales.
That's a solid title.
That's a pretty big title. He was formerly a member of the European Parliament under the Brexit Party, back when we were allowed in. And
Brexit Party, something like this existed. Oh my God, it's true. I remember that now.
Yeah, those were the days.
Sounds like old nightmare, but maybe near future.
So he was like Jenny. He was with Farage, whether it was the UKIP party, whether it was the Brexit party, and now Reform Party. He was a member of Parliament in Wales under Reform, and he was there side by side with our boy Nigel. He was famous for having big pro-Russian stances, especially when he was a member of the European Union, European Parliament. But what happened is that it emerged. They found these WhatsApp messages. It was him and, Fedor from Moscow saying, yeah, you have some money. And as long as you just keep saying at the European Parliament how great Russia is, how much we should leave them alone, how much Ukraine should not be part of NATO, etc., etc. He got caught and he pleaded guilty and is in jail for over 10 years.
Do you know how much pecorinos he put in his pocket?
Oh, many pecorinos. We do know. We don't know the exact amount, but what we do know is that when he comes out of jail, he will receive a 50,000 pension annually.
Till the end of his days.
To the end of his days.
But hey, 50 grand is not that much per year if you spend 10 years in a clink. Unless he's in one of those prisons when you're playing tennis and they're cutting the garlic really thinly for your bolognese to be spectacular.
Yeah, I mean it might be like Ghislaine Maxwell's prison where she has a playroom, she's got puppy therapy, and all that. But
the winter is cold. Can you please what do you have to do to end up in the prison like this?
Guard, it's a little bit hot in here. Can you turn down the temperature?
The AC is not working.
So why is this important? Well, first of all, the reason why I included an Al Jazeera headline here is just to highlight how big it's been talked about around Europe and the world, but hardly anything here in the UK. Maybe a little bias towards our boy Nigel and how all the journalists want to have pints with him. Maybe. But the reason why it raises so many questions is that Nigel Farage, of course, is potentially going to be the next prime minister. And Nigel Farage was also talking like loving Russia when he was a member of European Parliament. And these days he's pro-Russia. The only difference between Farage and Nathan Gills is that Nathan Gills got caught being paid.
But so do you think that they're going to be right now raising the suspicions towards Farage? Do you think that can be the thing which is going to ground him down? Because if they didn't catch him now and they caught Gills, if he was taking money, I'm talking about Farage, he stops it now because he's not stupid. He knows that right now they're going to watch his hands 24/7.
But Nathan Gills got done for when he was a member of European Parliament. So and Nigel Farage was a member of the European Parliament too at the same time. And he was also talking, sucking Mother Russia's
tit.
Yes, I was not going to say that word.
That's why you have me.
Yeah, to clean up Papses' Spinroom.
Exactly.
But yeah, I mean, this might be what brings Farage down.
But you know what? I like it, despite my opinions, if I like him to come down or not. I like the fact that we have Sarkozy, that we have Gilles right now. the big prominent figures are going down to jail. And
Consequences.
and it's becoming more lawful than in US apparently, which was always the guard of it. Because in US, when someone knows too much, it's committing suicide and stabbing himself 3 times in the back and shooting 7 times in the head, and it's called, it's Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. I didn't even think about connecting these stories, but later on we're going to talk about the COVID report. And Boris might get sued for this.
Nah, I mean, like, come on. Boris was a. I would play with Boris the ball that you don't have to go to prison if you're gonna be entertaining people on the stage, because it's like he is funny. Like, he is funny, and also he's not evil enough. He's not pulling the real frauds. The biggest. Like, the thing he's doing the coke parties where people are being trapped at homes. He's not a real, evil criminal.
There should be, that proposal that if a crime is so funny, you should not be punished. That's what everything that Boris does.
Yeah.
It's just too funny.
Yeah. I'm just being there and talking. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to the next topic, which is Trump bring all the boys to the yard. You're going to find out what is happening right now, or maybe what bipolar condition he has, because he's changing his mind all the time. Listen to this. The Guardian says, I love New York, and the love is a little emoji of heart, okay? It's not a coincidence. Queens recognizes Queens as Trump gives Mamdani warm reception.
And ABC News, oh god damn it, I get this headline. ABC News says, Trump defends Saudi crown prince over Khashoggi murder. Yes, things happen. Things happen.
Listen, the fact that someone has been murdered and then they found him in a suitcase, just things happen, man.
Some people trip, some people get chopped up, what you gotta do.
Bro, if you're running, your mom was always telling you, don't run down the stairs. If you're running down the stairs and then you're falling on 7 swords and 3 guns, you might end up in a suitcase.
Things happen, guys.
So what is that about? So it's about Mamdani being elected as a mayor of New York very recently. We talk about it. Papses were on the ball, as always, right? And then what happened is we have to remember that before he has been elected, Trump was slamming him. He was saying that he's a communist, and the guy, if he gonna become a president of New York, he gonna withdraw all the funds for New York and stuff.
New York and Stan, he said, as a word, that if Mamdani gets elected, communist Sharia law,
will possess the city and the whole state. And hello, he did it. He won the election. Mamdani, being reminding you, found his wife on the hinge, being 33 years old, I believe. And then he became a mayor of New York. And now, he visited Oval
Trump
Cabinet.
invited him.
Yeah.
Trump invited him to the Oval Office.
And what happened?
Like, a bromance was born. I was almost embarrassed. Because, I don't know, the first clip I saw was when they're doing a little press conference, as they always do, at the Oval, and someone asks Mamdani, during your campaign you called Trump a fascist. Do you still stand by it? And Mamdani goes very diplomatic, the campaign was fought, and Trump says, no. It's okay, you can say it. You can say I'm a fascist. Go on. But lovingly, that's fine. I got you, bud. Don't worry.
Just call me a fascist.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun. See what happens.
And then there's the photo dump on Truth Social, which is a few pictures of them two together. But then Mamdani said that he really liked Theodore Roosevelt was his favorite president. He says, and I guess he took a picture with the portrait by himself. And Trump posted it, look at my buddy with his favorite president. And that's so cute.
But you know what is the funniest for me? Is that I think I work out Trump. I think Trump is just addicted to be around elites. And suddenly when someone is becoming an elite, because becoming a mayor of the biggest city in US, he's suddenly saying, hey, he's my friend.
Hey.
and then all these remixes of him saying, I have a lot of friends, and my friends there, and my friends there, and millions, billions, and China. You know those mashups on YouTube? Yeah. So now it makes sense, because he's calling friends even people who are obviously not his friends.
But as long as they're good looking. The reason why I picked this Guardian headline, Queens recognizes Queens, obviously it's because Queens, the area from New York.
Yeah.
But no, it's because Trump's been a queen, and Mamdani is a queen.
Yeah.
So, I see you, queen. I see you. You did you, girl.
So now speaking of queens and how you said looking good and stuff, there is another question which has to be asked. Do they have the same dressing room and the same size of clothes? Because apparently Trump came the other day exactly dressed like Mamdani when he came to visit him.
Yeah. And not only that, he had a fancy new scarf too.
Is it? Do you think the next year Trump will introduce that the US becoming a monarchy and he's the king and Mamdani is a queen?
I think
That would be so good. That would be so Trump style.
yeah. I mean, I think Baba wasn't the only thing that was blown that day, though. I think Trump's really in love. I think he's got a crush.
Do you think Bill Clinton is jealous?
Oh my God, he's so jealous.
Well,
But no, I mean, I genuinely think that Trump was like genuinely enamored, like maybe not necessarily romantically, but like, oh my God, this guy is young, he's charismatic, he is a populist, like Trump is too. It's just they differ on the political spectrum, but policy-wise, populist, bring down costs, blah blah blah, they're quite aligned.
and we also have to remember that Trump is a proper New Yorker. New York is his favorite place. His family started his business in New York. Moving from suburbs to downtown and Manhattan. He definitely has a sweet spot for the Big Apple.
Yeah.
But then, hey, we're gonna be keep on updating you how the bromance is going. I'm pretty sure that in a week or two, Mamdani gonna say something which gonna break the bromance, and those gonna be the headlines. Probably that he gonna make some call which Trump will not go like.
I don't know, because Mamdani already recalled him a fascist in an interview in New York, and Trump was like, you go, girl.
You say what you gotta say.
You say, don't worry about it.
I'll see you in the pool.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, but then the last news of the Papses this week is sick of Tories. And the Independent says Boris Johnson could face legal action over pandemic failings after damning COVID inquiry report.
And GB News, trusted, says draconian lockdowns could have been avoided entirely. Damning COVID inquiry report finds.
Yeah, so the COVID report, I just want to say something that I don't think there is a country which the COVID report would come out positively, because COVID in general wasn't the easy thing to navigate. It never happened in history before, and I just want to say that it's easy to judge it after a time, but the life situation is giving very, very particular circumstances.
True. However,
Of course.
one thing is doing it like, oh no, it was a challenge, it was difficult to do it. The other one thing is doing it badly. Like, we purposely put these two headlines here behind us.
Oh, it's not a coincidence?
No. Led by liars and lawbreakers because of the Partygate, drinking, fighting, vomiting, all in a day's work, says Prime Minister.
Hey, he just had something on his tummy.
Yeah.
It's a meal deal.
Yeah, whiskey's good for your bad stomach. But like they said that so 2 weeks before we had the full lockdown in the UK, Freudian slip, Boris kept saying, oh, I went to a hospital the other day, I was shaking hands with everyone. I didn't even wash my hands later, the dirty pig. But
someone has some personal journey to make here.
A little bit. The report said that if some measures happened that week that he said I was shaking hands with everyone, lockdowns altogether could have been avoided. If they closed travel from Italy when Bolzano was full, had
Flooded with the
military vans full of bodies taken out of the city. If they closed travel from Italy, then lockdown could have been avoided.
Okay, but then first of all, this is just theorizing. That's primo. Secundo, we know it right now after we taking the lessons, but that was happening live. 3, there were countries which did something like intelligent lockdown, like for instance, Netherlands. And they didn't do the national lockdown because they invested in national immunity and trusting that people are going to act wisely. And they went through that without major consequences. They were trying to do the same here. I'm not saying that there was the best thing to do, but I'm saying I understand that they might have make mistakes, which we know now as mistakes. But back in the days, it wasn't as obvious.
But there were templates to be used.
What template?
Like whether it was mad cow, whether it was foot and mouth, this was like
but
80s, 90s. Different circumstances, sure.
And completely different scale.
But there were templates there to be used that weren't used. Because Boris was like, oh, no, it's fine, we'll do it. Or, that boosterism, like, no, it's not important. Like, pandemics don't even happen anymore, guys. Matt Hancock, the health secretary, I mean, he was just feeling girls up in the back office. But he just liked the attention. He wasn't really doing anything intelligently. Like even Dominic Cummings, who I really don't like, the guy who was the closest advisor to Boris, even he was saying that Boris should do something. Something.
Yeah, no, I get it. But I just think, I mean, but do you remember how Boris was crying on the TV?
Yeah, after he got COVID himself.
Yeah, I mean, look, Boris is obviously a guy who should be hospitalized, right?
Not for COVID.
And it's not because of COVID, no. But then on the other hand, I think something like that, I think that the argument with templates and argument with the fact that they could have, see the signs and I think it was difficult because that was also a whole debate about like where the people freedom is starting and where the safety, where there is a safety and when there is a freedom and how to navigate it. And I think that was interesting. What I say is, it was foolish of him to take the measures from countries which are known for not being heavily populated when you have, 8 million people jumping in the tube every morning, and you're closing, Tesco's, but then you're allowing people to travel on the tube without a limit. I mean,
And let's not forget, eat out to help out. It's summer, it's nice weather. Sure, we got people dying, but if you want a cheeky discount on if you want to go to the pub, we got you, mate.
Well, a pint with Farage.
And when they were reading the report, the judge or the commissioner, whatever you want to call them, she was pissed about it, how to help out. She was like visibly angry when she was discussing it. Because it did cause thousands of deaths. Like excess deaths.
Yeah. Well, if anyone is interested in that report, I think it's widely accessible.
Mm-hmm.
And
or you can find me at the pub where I'll be still screaming about it.
Yeah, and then it's luckily it's a pub where screaming is even encouraged.
Yeah, it's Farage's pub.
Yeah, should be done. So, Paps, thank you.
Thank you, Paps. Got a bit agitated there, but I think I'll calm down.
No, it's fine. It's Paps sometimes disagree, and that's okay.
It is okay. Things happen.
Things happen. Exactly. Someone ending up in a suitcase. Someone is,
What you gotta do?
What you gotta do? Guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on our socials and next week.
Well, thank you, Paps, and see you soon.
Bye.